Hello, Pony Pals. We're back with some more Wildland Acres. So, guess what? Before I was doing some things, switching out some studs, getting ready for uh, pasture breeding to start again. But we go to pastures. It is after the 7th, so now we can breed our pastures. There is a button to breed the pasture, and since like each pasture you have, because like this account has multiple pastures, we've already seen with me doing my line breeding. Because this will be the first time breeding each of these pastures this month, it will get an email with the best foal in the pasture. I'm trying to figure out what I'm gonna do for that, because I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna show you guys my emails. But when you breed your pastures the first time each month, you will get a email telling you what the best quality foal in your pasture is. Like, no testing required, so that'll be nice. So this one is my primary pasture has a matured bootstrap breeding herd. Bootstrap breeding is the third kind of breeding that I do that I haven't showed you already. I've shown you line breeding with my various generation pasture foals videos. I've shown you very early hybrid breeding, which is what I do in my new pasture here, but I showed you that with the herd in Stormy Cove. Now I'm going to show you a matured bootstrap breeding herd. So bootstrap breeding, it is basically based off of you get the best stallion you can get. And so instead of just doing incremental increases in quality like with the other herds, get the best stallion you can get, grab a bunch of mares, breed them to him, get to keep the best fillies because some of the foals won't be good, some of the foals will be great, so keep the best ones, breed them to a really high stallion again until you get really high quality in not much time at all. This one I've been doing for several years now, so these are all pretty high quality horses, but we'll be showing what to do with horses that the foals aren't, or it's basically impossible for most of these foals to be better than parents. If they are better than their parents, the parents need to go, not then the foals will be staying. And then yeah, we have lots of horses here. Some of these are horses specifically to try to get DFP2. These are lesser quality horses, but I'm working on bootstrapping them up. I have a couple horses here. These two are horses which I'm specifically working on bootstrapping from foundation mares up to high quality mares, or foundation horse. I think it was the stallion that was low quality and the mare's high quality in that bootstrap. Usually stallions and mares, but sometimes it's high mares, low stallion if you're trying to get a new gene in. So I'm trying to get the new gene Hangry Plus into my herd. So I have these two mares, but they're only 3 and 2 years old, so they won't be breeding yet. But this is a very advanced bootstrap. Okay, it's a very matured bootstrap herd. There are some herds which are better than mine, but we are going to breed this pasture. 45 mares found to breed. Primary pasture scent. And so now, like these are our two stallions in this pasture. This one, we got a foal that once he was 5% boosted, he was better than this guy. So we're going to end up taking him out of pasture and keeping him just to try to find a son of this guy who is better than who's test Superior of this guy to be our new Bootstrap line horses. But yeah, we have lots of different horses. This is kind of like color-wise what I like to go for. We have a couple which are different, especially with some of our beating up genes, but this is kind of what I want to see in my herd. Like you can see some fantasy, but most of them are not. We got GP, we have lots of dun, we have various looks going on. I really like the non-dun one sooty plus brown look going on. But that's not what we're here to look at. We're here to look at foals. So we have 45 foals to look at today. Breeding inspection is not gonna work. They're all gonna be golds and stars. And breeding advice probably won't work because the stallions were 5% boosted, so they're all go above top natural breeding levels, so they would all be spayed and gelded. Well, let's go to our barn. It's like, what do we do with these horses? Oh yeah, I haven't showed for the month, so fortunately, these are the first foals I've pulled out of pasture. So I don't need to go off of which ones have or haven't been showed. So actually, these are stallions. I'll probably look through these later to try to find one that I want to try to see if it's superior to Burden of Knighthood. But that'll be later. Right now, we want to look at fillies. So, yeah, the tests that I can do on them really won't work for trying to for narrowing down which ones to keep or not. So we're gonna be doing comparison tests on all of them. But this is going to be different. Instead of wanting them to be superior to their mothers or things like that, I will be wanting them to be as good as the best mare in my barn, which is kind of high standards, but this herd, it has high standards. So I did select all these for general testing anyway. I am going to do genetic testing and performance inspection. This way, I will know. This way, they will show up in our. Okay, there's our. I'm going to take a risk. There we go. It doesn't. Best pasture. So the foal sired by Secret Chocolates and Falcar's Lessons is our best pasture foal today. Let's click that. So this is the best foal I will have produced this month. Like this is my best, highest quality pasture. This is the best foal from that pasture. It is a mare. She has fantasy genes. You'll probably notice those little pinprick white spots. That's Nexus. It's like, once again, fantasy genes, but she is a mare. If she was a stallion, I'd be a little sadder because I like having just a little bit of fantasy in this herd, and she is the highest quality one. You see, she's homozygous black. We have dun and non-dun one. She has DFP1, only one copy, but she has DP, she has GP, she has Axiom, she has two sooties. She doesn't have sooty plus, but she has two sooties. Let's see, her performance test grade is 13.7. That's pretty high. She's probably going to be pretty high in her respect in the non-dun one and the FP1 leaderboards. Actually, let me see. Lesson in chocolate. That reminds me of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Family, so I'm going to probably butcher the spelling because that's how yeah, don't judge me on my spelling. But I'm gonna call her Oompa Loompa. Oompa, not Oompa. Oompa Loompan. Oompa. Oompa Loompa. There we go. And now we are going to test her against Burden Rebel, who is, like last time I checked on the leaderboards, because this herd being so high, you like often check various color and era leaderboards to figure out which mares are better than the others. She is as good as Burden the Rebel. You want, like, it's basically impossible for her to be better than superior to Burden Rebel without 5% boosting, and if she was worse, then I would just toss the entire bunch into the show barn. But Oompa Loompa, oh, I should put B because she's the best in pasture. No. So that's her. Now we are going to go through and look at all of these mares. My goodness, this one has double DFP. You probably won't see it because it's got a non-done one. Just watch. We're not going to see the stripes. Well, if you squint, you can kind of pretend to see the stripes. But non-done one, like, if they have done, they should be able to show it because the done covers the non-done one. But apparently the non-done one covers the DFP one. So we have another mare which can only throw DFP one. So hopefully one day I will get a foal with only done, not non-done one, and 2 copies of DFP one, and we will get a stripy foal. She's got a very good performance test grade. She's consistent. We are going to find Burden Rebel and test against her. She is worst, so she's not going to be passing on any DFP one to anybody. Just watch, like, trying to bring, this is the saga of trying to bring in new fancy recessive traits, especially ones that need to be recessive and depend on other outside genes too. Wait, this is a stallion. Oh, he's a pretty stallion. So he looks chestnut, but he is not, I'm pretty sure he is not chestnut. Let's look at genetic test. I think he is an example of chocolate. So chocolate gene makes black base hairs red. Yes, he's homozygous black, but he's double chocolate. So this gives like kind of off chestnut look. So yeah, that's what chocolate looks like. Secret chocolate and secret danger. Now, one thing is, chocolate was brought into the game because people theorized that Mongol horses may have had it, but there isn't enough scientific proof to really get that down yet. So it is still a fantasy gene, so horses with it can only show in the leaderboard, in the fantasy leaderboards, not in the color, which kind of makes me sad, but let's find some fillies. Well, they're stallions. These are fillies. This one has fantasy genes too. Okay, this is one that's trying to, she's going to be a lower quality mare. We're trying to breed up the DF DFP2. She only has DFP1. She also has other fantasy genes. We have the Bats gene. See, Chinchilla is recessive, so we're not seeing that. So we're not seeing it, but let's look. Secret Whisper S. So we can see if she's better than Burden Rebel. I'm pretty sure she will not be. Okay, I guess she is. Now the question is, do I want to keep, like, I will keep her for now. Maybe I will sell her as a fantasy bootstrap mare. Maybe I'll keep her for as my own fantasy bootstrap mare. Burden of Knighthood, Secret Whisper. Whispered Burden X. I put X to show a horse that compares as good as Rebel Burden or Rebel Secret. I can't, the one that I was testing against. So we will keep her for now. If I need room in my pasture for other mares, I might sell her. Oh my goodness, I love that. Like, this is just nice. This is what I want to see in my pasture, which means she's going to get spayed, right? She carries chocolate. Oh, she's not going to be in the leaderboards. She has 2 copies of DP and 2 copies of Sooty. And she has 1 copy of brown. This shows how she's such a dark color in the brown. And the non-done 1 really help with the Dusky. And then we've got Robacano, which is RB, which has this little white ticking. This is, yeah, but she's gonna be spayed, right? Let's look. Basically, your excitement level when seeing a horse is gonna tell you that it's gonna get spayed. But as people say, there's always next month. And there's a lot more foals here, so let's look at this one. This one is also pretty. Got DFP1. She has 2 copies of satin, that's why we have a little bit of a colored shiny tinge on her. 2 copies of DP. Done, and no ND1. So if she had a second DFP1, she would be stripy, but once again, no. She has GP. Let's look and see what happens here. Burden Rebel, that's what her name was. Worse than. It's like, even in this pasture, there's going to be a lot of foals that don't make it, which is kind of necessary, because if every mare was producing an intact filly, you'd have to, like, rotate the mares every month. I'm still going to have to cull a bunch of mares to bring in 2-year-olds. Here's another one with satin. Like, I will show the how to, I'm gonna cull mares in a future video. But right now, there's Burden. About as good as. So, like, those ones was done. Got spayed. This one, see. Tag. So this is an inside joke from a LARP game, and so, like, Tagarung. So I'm gonna Tagarung's secret. Oh, I know what one of his secrets was. Because Tagarung was a werewolf. There wasn't. There we go. Tag did not like it when we found out that he was turning other people into werewolves. Or he did, I don't know. He didn't like our response to finding out that he was turning other people into werewolves. This is all in a live action role play. None of that was real, but Tagarung isn't real. But whoa. What is the genetics of that? DFP1, DFP1. No done, and ND1, so no stripy. Satin. So this is a wild bay because it has the plus. Non-done one. Double. Or no, single DP. Satin with Sabino 2. That's what creates that. It's like, whoa. She is a shiny ketchup horse. And she's worse. It's like all these ones that are double DFP1, they are not passing, and this is kind of what happens. I get lots of single ones, but it's okay. It'll happen later, and then once you start getting double DFP horses, it'll be easier because those ones can only have horses with DFP. Okay, so at that point, instead of a 1 in 4 chance of them having double DFPs, if there's a stallion with 1 DFP, then that's 1 in 2 chance. And if the stallion has 2 DFPs too, it's 100% chance that the foals will have it. We'll have two copies of it. Okay, let's test this one. Bird and Rebel. About as good as. So Burden of Knighthood and Secret Knights. So Knights train. So train. Sometimes you use the same words over and over again that you have to kind of extrapolate on them. So training's a secret, and now we can have weird training things going on. Training's a secret. This one's a brown, so it won't have done. It's got 2 copies of ND1. Still a pretty horse. I like the dark with like just a little bit of a like her face is glowing almost. She reminds me of one of my favorite like quote unquote black horse toys growing up. Wait, not breeding advice. Breeding advice will alter all of these horses. If you have bootstrap horses, don't breeding advice horses you want to keep intact because this breeding style is not designed to be able to do breeding advice. They're all gonna get spayed like this one's going to. Because like for a horse to pass breeding advice, it has to be at least close to the breeding ability of both parents. And if like in a mature breeding in a mature breeding or bootstrap herd with non breeding quality boosted parents, you can test the foals and you'll just keep the ones that pass testing. Oh, I like that one. But if you have, sorry, it's hard for me to think about 2 things at once. If you have either a horse that is a stallion or a mare that is way higher quality than the other, foal is almost guaranteed to be altered by breeding advice, even though the foal is probably way higher quality than the lower of the 2 horses. And also, if you have a mature bootstrap breeding herd with a horse with stallions which are boosted above natural breeding quality, like I do, that means they're like the foals are guaranteed they cannot get close to it because it's above what a horse can the quality a horse can reach through breeding without boosting. So if you breeding advise them, they're all going to be altered. So this is causes us to do this. Oh, this is the full. Okay, that's Rebel Chocolate. We're looking for Bird and Rebel. Sorry. So this makes us have to do this more expensive comparison test, which is 8,000 each instead of free. So this is definitely something to either don't test your foals at all, or when you're really starting out from the beginning, you can test them and test them by paper until they're all golds. But a this is one of my favorite ways to breed, but it is not a cheap way to breed. Definitely work on getting your show bonus up, but doing this breeding scheme will create a bunch of horses which will be good show horses and will be able to show a lot longer than other ones because okay, let's look at this PT. So the PT grade tells you how many years a horse will be able to continue training, so how many points they'll be able to take into the show ring. This one will be able to train for nearly 14 months or 14 years in game time. Oh, two DFP ones, but no duns. I could directly modify, but I feel like that's cheating. So bringing this away does get good horses for show horses. So all these horses which are being gelded, they're not gelded, being spayed. These are the fillies. These are going to be some of my best show horses, and they're going to have lots of points and be able to get a bunch of points. Wait, this looks the same. Am I sure I'm not didn't just click on the same one? I'm very confused. Maybe they were sisters with like which had identical foals. So one's worse too. So we're gonna do that and hopefully not do the whole thing over again. Ooh, another pretty horse. Like this herd, I focus more on color more than the others, so this probably shows more of the some fantasy, but I like the real color better than the other herds I've showed you so far. Ooh, I like the contrast from light to dark. Yeah, this is not a double DFP one. Like it, like that is like I love the done sooty plus non-done one combo. It really makes them kind of glow in a way. The glowing show pony. It's like I think like there were 45 foals, so rough estimate like let's just see how many signs there were. 1, 2, 3, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So 45 minus 18 would be 30, 27, 27 horses, 27 mares. So far we have 4 that have passed so far. So once again, doing comparison testing, we can still weed out a bunch of horses. So we're not completely overrun. Okay, this one is unusual colored for my herd. So let's see. I think this one is from a DFP2 mare. Well, if it is, it's still gonna get DFP2, so I'm still gonna test it. If it did have DFP2, I would test it against the mother and ask it to be better than that instead of asking it to be as good as Rebel Burden. But it's heavy DFP2 and it's not as good as Rebel Burden. So we are going to find another filly somewhere. There they are. This is a Gria, so this is a like black horse with dun. So it has kind of the gray color because dun dilutes the color of the coat. I feel like I'm Thor. I'm like, another! We are not going to see the stripes. Nope. Wait a minute. She's done an ending one. This is a. I've never seen a dun look like that before. I almost want to not test her. She's gonna not pass, right? Okay, she is the daughter. No, she's not. No. But we are getting some pretty horses. We're gonna have to like remind ourselves the pretty horses at the end. Like a lot of foals do get snipped. Okay, this is an example of a wild bay dun. They are kind of lighter and have a lot less dark on the nose and the legs. Let's test Geld's Bay. Hit the button correctly. Okay, we've already tested Willowpet. She's our best. If any of these horses meet quality, she does because they gave. Oh, whoa. So done on done one double DPs, two two brown jeans. So one brown jean and two brown jeans makes definitely different colors. GPs. Oh, this horse is gorgeous. She's going to get spayed. Just watch. Yes. Like on one hand, this is a really good thing because this means we don't need to cull as many of the mares we already have as quickly, but it's like we see all the pretty ponies and we got a lot of good show ponies. You need way more show ponies than breeding mares. So the fact that we're getting way more gelds or way more spayed fillies than breeding fillies is really going to help us with a show bonus over the future months because it takes several show ponies to earn enough money to support breeding a mare. So yes, it's but at the same time you get more money from the show ponies than you would from selling mares because you get money from them every day and not just once a month like the mares, and you usually are spending money from your show ponies over like throughout the month if you're doing things, so you're looking for money from the show ponies from just like a little while beforehand. 3.5, inconsistent. Similar. Oh, she's got 2 city pluses. Whoa. 1 DP. She's got 3 darkening genes. But she's a wild bay down, and the wild bays are a lot lighter. The more deep, and most colors get darker with more DP. This one gets lighter with DP. That one's a terrible rebel. So on one hand, this kind of shows that, yeah, I need to work on getting better stallions, so these fillies are gonna start coming in better quality. But yeah. Oh, this horse has tiger eye too. This tiger eye I have it in my younger herds, but not much in this herd because these are 0 horses. Like, they don't have as, like, you have to like breed in some of these newer genes from scratch, and so it takes a while. Like, maybe I should have kept her, but the tiger eye 2 is in a bunch of, like, linked in with a bunch of the others. This is our last filly. The last melon. Oh, wait. Ooh, so she is a. So we see the darkening on the shoulders and stuff. That's from non-done 1. And she's got done, so she's a very dark Rhea. Very pretty horse. Let's look. Oh, get tag! Because we're always trying to figure out what's going on with Tigerung. Horse. So we had 27 fillies. We took them through testing, and we got 1, 2, 3, 4 fillies remain. This might seem bad. This is actually something I'm happy with. So let's look at our fillies. So this one, the one that if we had a bunch of fillies, I'd probably be selling her, but let's see what happens. We have our baddie girl. She has chinchilla, she has bat, she has DFP1, she's got 7, done, non-done, GP, Sabino. So if she picks up, so if she has 2 KPs, if she got a second kitchen, she would have smoky coloration. She has frame, which I'm a little concerned about, but since the stallions don't have frame, that'll be okay. And that frame makes the Sabino go in the center of her more to really show off her bats. She's definitely a different look for this pasture, but she's good quality. I bet Evelina. Very, like, we got the glossy satin. We have our Sori Plus DP brown, non-done 1, 2 DFP 1s. So unfortunately, she will always, unless I genetically modify her, which I may have to do, she will always pass the non-done 1 with her DFP 1. So as she is, none of her foals can ever show the stripy pattern, but she can pass it. Pretty horse. Let me know if you want me to genetically modify her so we can see her as a stripy dun. Training is a secret. She's a wild bay because of the plus. Double DP. She carries chocolate. And Oompa Loompa, our best in pasture for this month. She is our next starry girl. She is, so this is a single DP wild bay, and she has sooty instead of sooty plus. Very interesting girl. She is going, we're going to have to watch her in the fantasy leaderboard. So when she's in like 7 months, see if how she does in the fantasy leaderboard. So there we go. There's our fillies. I'm not going to go through the colts right now. That is another day. This is already long enough. But there's something else. So I have a stallion that I want to replace Burden with Knighthood. Burden of the Phoenix. There he is. He has satin, you can see with his gloss. I don't really breed for satin, but it works. I love his dapples. He has Gluciplume, which fine really makes it. He has normal bay. I don't have much normal bay in my herd. Like, I really love the browns, so I probably need to be careful not make the wild bay, normal bay take over, but having a few will be cool at least. It might be more than a few because I've got a stallion who has it. DP, double DP, sooties. He carries DFP1. Let me see, can I have them have, both of them have DFP1? Does his mother have it? No, she does not, so I cannot give him a second DFP1. Wait, why did he turn into a baby? So this is what he looked like as a foal. Roll his image. And look, he's an adult again. So I want him, like, he is 2 years old now. I didn't put him in pasture just now because they can't breed until they're 3. But now I can put him in pasture. Now that the pasture's bred, I can put him in pasture for next month. So Burden of Knighthood, like sad, like he's only 10 years old. They're usually around for at least 17. But I'm going to put him in my, I'm going to switch him out. Wait, I'm not going to comparison test him. I'm going to put him in my primary barn. There he is. Yes, I got really excited about him and I covered him up in armor so you can't see him, sorry. But now we're going to go back to the barn. So there's Burden of Knighthood. We go down to, where is he? I know he's here, we just saw him. Burden of the Phoenix. Go to his control panel. Select pasture, primary pasture. Then we can go to pastures. And now we have a new Bootstrap stallion in our herd for next year. He has Gluciplume, so he can be in the Gluciplume leaderboard. He has EFP1, so he can be in that leaderboard. He has non-done ones. And those are probably, let me see, he's a non-done one, done factor, and okay, dense feminine and Gluciplume. So let's see if he gets the dense feminine. It'll be fun to see how he does next year and if he gets any leaderboard awards. And also to see if we get more intact fillies than this month, which is a good thing and a bad thing because it's showing that the fillies aren't as high quality as we would like them to be, but it means that we don't have to replace mares. We will have to cull some mares, we'll show that later, but we got some lovely fillies. And this is a mature Bootstrap Bootstrap heard full sorting. She's a fancy thought. Hope you guys had fun. Please comment, like, subscribe. Let me know any thoughts you have on what you would like me to do or not do. Have a wonderful day, folks. Bye.